y'all. It's Lamimi J. You can find me anywhere at Lamimi J. Y'all, I got allergies today. Not gonna really be able to talk too much. Some mean time in between time, so I don't really talk much, anyways. I was heading home from my Woodland Mansion and I saw this. At first, I couldn't see. Well, I saw the wood, and I was like, "Is that what I think it is? A mine shaft?" And then I look down. You see that down there? Yeah, it's definitely a chest. So I was like, "Oh, definitely gotta explore real quick." So that's what we're gonna be doing here. I just came back from Venom, by the way. Sorry, I'm listening to something about Diddy. You know how we do on here. Just listen to podcasts, a little bit of Minecraft gameplay till I get tired. Saw Venom. I liked it. I know that don't sound like I liked it, but I really liked it actually. But not as much as the other two. Strong 6.5 though. Give it like a strong 6.5. What I was about to say. It okay. Oh my god, this is scary right here. This is scary. Um I don't look at Venom in the context of a superhero. I mean, obviously they're superhero, but I don't put that first. I put love story first. And yeah, super Ayo, but uh, but they were kind of Ayo in the comics, to be honest with you. So that's how I look at it. I don't know if this is gonna be big or not. Pause, but we're gonna find out, y'all. I can see some stuff going down right here, so we're gonna go ahead and do this real quick. I should have brought more of this netherrack, but I guess I didn't. So oh well, it's too late for that. But it's not that many monsters around here. Allergies going crazy, y'all. I've been sneezing all freaking day long. Please don't fall anywhere. No, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about iron. As y'all can see, I got a 51. I got 51 points or whatever. Gonna try not to die. Hopefully that works. At least trying not to. Um, but if not, it just is what it is. I'm a noob. It is what it is. Um, but yeah, we just gonna sit back, relax, watch some I sound like Dashy right there. Sit back, relax, grab some snacks. Man, it was one of the snacks cracked me up when he said apple slices. I was like, bro, so random but clutch. Like, anyways, gonna sit back. Um, you know, enjoy a couple podcasts. I got whatever going on random. Right now it's about Diddy, but we'll see what my algorithm plays. Um, and yeah, ain't no talking, just exploration. If y'all want to go to sleep, go to sleep. Y'all want to watch. You know, it is what it is. It's just mean time in between time. Sit back, chill, relax, grab some snacks. Alright. Oh, was that my boy? No. I was trying to guess the lava physics in this Y'all know the lava physics crazy up in this thing. I'm actually kind of liking the netherrack, y'all. Oh, it's my boy CZ's. I've seen this before though. It's every secret in the Scream franchise. Y'all, I'm feeling that netherrack. I never thought to bring netherrack to this. Hold on, let me change it real quick. Everything wrong with Final Destination? Nah. Oh, Gigi. I've seen that one. Y'all, I don't know. Y'all want to listen to some murder mystery? Let's go ahead and put on a murder mystery real quick. That's a good little thing to fall asleep to. I know some people don't think so, but I could do it. Hopefully y'all can hear it. The microphone is right by the TV, y'all, so
started screaming inside.
Don't ask. I got a little. I pretty much rigged. You know what I want to say. I ain't gonna say the word, but oh, is that a spawner back there or spiders? I pretty much inward rigged a desk or whatever. Oh, let me hold on a sec, y'all.
She was covered in blood.
Let me full screen this. Oof. All right. We ready. We ready for real. Oh, do I have a sword? Nope. But I got one back at the village. Alright, y'all. We gonna have to take a little detour real quick.
It said that she was running away. She told me to get away from her.
It's about to be nighttime anyway, so I want to make some more torches.
They went in there and they found her on the floor and she was bleeding quite a bit.
Oh my god. He would. I knew it. I heard it. Y'all. That was crazy, y'all. I almost got taken out, for real.
All the evidence that they collected in this place, the real evidence was a single bloody print.
Fingerprint was gold in this case.
Detectives cut out a portion of the wall, one unidentified partial print.
It made sense that this female inside the apartment just had bumped her hand along the wall enough to make a fingerprint.
DNA wasn't around yet. Fingerprints, interviews, and that's all they had.
They did have witnesses that saw a young female dressed up really nice, going door to door, asking for money. One witness had said back then it was for
The detectives interviewed several young girls who lived in the neighborhood that fit the description. They took fingerprints, hoping to get a match to the partial print that they had got from the crime scene. At that point, they all met with negative results.
This motherfucker. Hey. Bro, get your anti-social social behind out of here.
He'd been at a party and he had heard a female talking about the homicide.
I'm kind of tempted to build another portal in this BS village. Y'all see it.
With information about a homicide.
What did I say I'm going back for? Y'all, I forgot what I'm going back for. Is it that way? Yeah.
You want to give us your name at this time?
No, not really.
Oh, my sword. Okay. Sorry, I was blanking out for a second.
Promised he would not say anything to anybody. The detectives tell him, you're not a suspect in this.
Okay, my name is Odell. O-D-E-L-L.
social security number and his birthday. Odell was a big
Block it back because these MFers don't know how to.
Okay. Do you know her name?
I should do gravel.
Odell said when the suspect was a female.
Oh yeah, I was doing a little deforestation over there.
We wanted to obviously talk to Odell first.
I live by the sword. I think about that every time I say sword. Godfrey did that to me. Can't forget it now.
Try to
Live by the sword. Cause I'm paranoid.
Then all of a sudden, he decided he didn't want to be involved. At that point, the detectives lost all contact with Odell. They were interested in tracking down Danita. A traffic stop was conducted.
Kitty.
She was removed from the vehicle. Her prints
Wow.
were taken right there on the hood of her car. The detectives took
Ooh, drop your
prints,
helmet.
fingerprints,
Yes.
and they compared those fingerprints to that fingerprint on the wall.
There was a smear of blood on the print that was on the wall. So the quality of the fingerprint taken wasn't that good. They found some tapes.
There were 6 cassette tapes.
There was a second interview of Odell.
We turn back to the key informant from the original investigation. Odell.
Y'all, I'm really feeling that netherrack,
Maybe
y'all.
on these tapes.
I'm tempted,
Said
y'all.
something else.
Huh. I'm tempted to go back. My village is not too far away, so. I mean, it's far, but not that far.
It was still in the purse.
Should I do it?
Only the killer would know that the victim had a welfare check in her
Because I
purse.
block off places.
And there's no way that that information had been leaked out to the public. The only reason that
I don't know,
Odell
y'all.
would have known about
I
that
think I'ma
check
do
being
it.
in his purse is if he had been
But what
told
if it ain't?
by
It ain't even nothing. I don't know though.
inside that car. At that time, just one
Stay
print
too
was
deep in the
noticed
fofo
at the
or
scene.
what?
The
So
partial
on the baby,
fingerprint
all in my truck.
matched
Now
that
it's up.
print up with Danita. There was a jar
Stay
of
too deep in the
mayonnaise
photo. Yeah.
sitting on a chair by the front door.
I think I'm gonna go back, y'all. I'm gonna go back.
Right where the
I'm gonna go back because this seems like one where I'm gonna have to build vertically, and I would like to have a lot of, you know, disposable blocks,
We're back to square one.
which I'll probably get a lot of stone, but you know, these are already broken. I don't wanna
Implicate
do that to my pickaxe.
either
All right,
he
we're
was
gonna go
in
back to my nether portal
we went out to call.
so that I
With
can
a tape recorder.
obtain netherrack.
Odell.
It's right there by my nether portal in a chest.
That is you on that tape.
And then we're gonna come back and explore. This is what I would do on my off time, y'all, by the way. Like what I'm doing right now, this is exactly what I would do.
Yeah, that's my address. That's my social security number.
So if y'all mad, stay
But
mad.
that's not my voice.
Cause I didn't even have to
You
get
know,
on
this is on
recording.
tape here. You know, they
But I wanted to.
recorded you back then. Who else would it be?
Cause, you know, I'm getting a little exhibition-y.
Why? Yeah, that's my previous
Or
address.
voyeur-y. Wait, a voyeur is somebody who looks. An exhibition is
I couldn't have spelled that.
somebody who wants to be looked
I
at.
can't read and I can't write. It kind of shocked me, but it hit me with, he's telling the truth. He can't read and write. This case is really weird because the informant had provided accurate information. However, the information
Seal that
about
back
his
up
own
because these
personal
villagers
identity,
dumb.
identity of the suspect
They
is
dumb.
inaccurate.
And he was all
So.
emotional. Tearing up,
Let me take back some of my stuff.
and he got scared. Because whoever's on this
Wait a
tape
second.
is providing
Oh, I
all
left my silver down there. Oh well, it's all good.
his social security number.
I'm gonna
So the next question to
take
him is, who do you know
this,
that
this,
knows that much about you? And he
this.
listened to the tape several times and said, you know who that
What?
sounds like?
How am I still in the
My
recipes?
cousin Chris. Back in '87,
I'm gonna leave
Odell
these
used to
here
find
just
a
in
job
case.
at an unemployment office. His cousin Chris would always go with him. And his cousin Chris would fill out his applications.
What time?
Back in 1987, Chris is the one who came to headquarters and saying he was Odell, the original detectives didn't look at a picture ID.
At this point, we have identified our informant and we have his real identity. So we go up to the residence. His mom answers the door. We finally are face to face with our informant. He was getting nervous. Explained to him, we're trying to find out who killed this woman. He denied anything about him. He denied it.
I'd have to say the turning point was his mother.
Watch, I'm doing all this for nothing.
You tell him detectives
I don't want
what
to
you
do it
know.
to him.
Much time's gone by. You be honest with him. There was some trembling in his voice.
He said that he did call his head. He does admit to knowing Danita. He said she's innocent. Somebody else did it.
Then he told us what some other girl had told him back in 1987, the day after the homicide had taken place. He said, we were just friends. She came over and sat on my porch, and she had to tell me something.
Not gonna do it.
She said that she owed a drug dealer some money. And she was going door to door asking for money. Anime had given her a couple dollars. She saw that there was more money
Ooh,
in
I
her
might do
purse.
the gray. We don't kill black or
That's-
brown sheep, y'all. In this Minecraft playthrough.
We need to go.
And he says, Zena Roberson. And he says, I've held on to this for all these years just because she was my friend. He had posed as Odell because he wanted somebody arrested for that homicide. He just didn't want Zena.
Ooh,
And he had heard that Danita was involved in some illegal activity.
nope.
Thought that, okay, I would go to jail for this and I feel a lot better. You know, knowing I kept my secret with Zena. Zena was the last suspect that we had. So her prints are on file.
Looking at these fingerprints, and I said, oh, God. We got her. See?
First new suspect in 26 years. We got the wrong police department. So they took a picture of her, put it on their Facebook page. I don't think it was 2 minutes. They got a response. A person answered and said, this is a lady I see at the bus stop at this intersection every morning.
Oh, she a
We get
baddie.
to her apartment, and I've never seen anything like it. But every pore on her body opened up. And I mean, it looked like a river coming from the top of her head all the way down. Nothing needed to be said. It was just body language.
You know,
Wait,
got
what'd she
looked
do?
down. She knew. I know
Fucking
I got
baddie.
And I said, well, you're gonna have to, you gotta come with us.
The real element we needed was her to admit she had never been in that apartment. Because we knew we had evidence putting her there.
Oh, she looks a lot different in this interrogation.
We had her in the apartment. We have 2 separate fingerprints from Zena inside Anime's apartment.
She just wasn't somebody you just threw away. She was somebody to care about. And I did love her. And I still love her. And she meant a lot to the family.
She was given a sentence of 15 years to life for the murder. Oh, that was a little one. Okay, let's see what else they can play. Is that a glitch over there? No. Let's see. We gotta go see now. Oh, it ain't nothing.
Went to her grave knowing a lot about a lot of people.
Man, I keep hearing about this. They like so proud of her name. I ain't trying to. Okay, look. I came off kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Zelfia. Man, I seen this one already. I'm good on this one, y'all. Zelfia, like who? The mom, she was just like so freaking excited. She named that girl that name. It's like we tired. Okay, we get it. Oh, looking at me. I'm not gonna do it to you.
All right, let's go.
go back out to
But
Richmond,
you-
Virginia, and talk to Sarah with an H. What's up, Sarah?
Oh, I'm sorry, bro.
Hey, how's it going?
Partying? What are you up to?
You're now part of the cosmic universe.
Just sitting at home with
This
the
is
cold.
Dr. John Delonte. I think I got flagged for watching him last time because his music. So I'm probably done for it already. But hey, I ain't making no money off this.
Years, and he just really struggles with a lot of anger and a lot of anxiety, and it just manifests itself into a lot of yelling and screaming, and we have 2 kids. I'm pregnant with our 3rd, and you know, then on top of that, if he gets mad enough at me, he'll break things, like he'll break you know, gifts that I've given him, or he'll break he'll like smash food, or
Is that
you know,
it?
things that I bought for myself,
Can't be.
excuse me, or that type of thing, and it's just really hard for me to know how to handle it. And I guess that's my question, is how do I navigate this in a way that's healthy? Because, you know, my first instinct when he smashes something that I took a lot of time to pick out for him, or that he even asked for himself, that I bought for a birthday present or something like that, my first reaction would be like, well, I'm never gonna buy you anything ever again, you know. But I don't want to be vindictive. I don't want to be bitter. So I'm just trying to figure out how I am supposed to respond in a way that's protecting myself and protecting my kids. Yeah.
Oh man. Sarah, can I just cut to the chase and be super honest on some things?
I know my
okay?
villages. It's over here.
Yeah.
I think it's honest. I want to be as honest as I can. This is one of those rare calls that it tightens my upper chest. As my wife would say, she could see across the room. I see your jaw starting to clench, and we need to go.
Yeah.
Because she knows I'm about to get myself into trouble. Okay. This is one of those moments, and so I want you to know that in a world that you live in the world you live in right now, you will be especially exposed to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I am also talking in circles a little bit to give myself a chance to breathe. Okay.
Okay.
The anger, your husband's anger is not the problem.
Yeah.
Your husband is a freaking toddler.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he acts like a child.
Gather him.
And a child in a man's body can hurt somebody irreparably. Okay? Mm-hmm. And you're focused on, well, I'm just not going to make you gifts anymore. I'm focused on the women I've visited in hospitals before who have their faces knocked in.
Yeah.
Okay? Anxiety and anger don't manifest into smashing things. Toddlers do. Immature grown men do. It's not a result of what your husband's struggling with. It's a choice he is making in a moment.
Yeah.
Or it's a choice he is making to not deal with in the moments that he's not anxious and enraged. I do know of there is some psychological issues where people go, quote unquote, blind with rage. Fine. But then it's their job to deal with it upstream before they're blinded. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm speaking boldly about this because I was a guy that was so buried with anxiety I couldn't breathe. My impulse was to smash things. And I didn't because I'm an adult. Not because I'm better than anybody, because I'm a grown-up. And I went and sought professional help.
Yeah.
Right? So you're not going to like what I'm telling you to do next, okay? I just need you to know that I'm on your team.
Okay.
And I know there's a financial reality to this. I know there's just a reality to this. But if it's safe, he gets a final, powerful, written in stone with fire, boundary. If you yell in this house again, if you smash something again, if you scream in this house again, I'm leaving with our kids, or you're leaving. Period. If most of the time people call the show and they water down what's actually going on, they sanitize it a bit.
Ooh, I like the gray
It's
one.
hard to say it out loud.
Yeah.
And whatever, I just have a gut feeling that's what you're having to do right now, and I honor that, so I'm not going to push you on it. But if that conversation can't be had for safety reasons, then you go find a safe place to go for you and your 2 kids and your third one on the way.
Yeah.
And you communicate that in writing. But when my daughter or my son was a toddler, you can't explain things to someone who's acting like a 6-year-old because they're sick.
Yeah.
Dang.
Someone who's an adult body goes and grabs gifts and smashes them just to go ha ha ha. That's somebody who is being led by their inner child.
Yeah.
Alright, so I just said a lot of heavy stuff. What do you feel? Do you think I'm right? Am I crazy? You push back on me.
No, I think you're right. Thankfully, where I became a marriage counselor, I am counseling myself. I've got, mentors and things like that I've kind of talked through the situation with, and everybody, pretty much agrees with that. Especially, some think that I should just go ahead and leave. Others think that, like what you said, if it's a conversation that I can have in a safe way, and I've pretty much already told him that, I've said, if this happens again, I'm leaving.
But you
And
didn't.
I'm taking the kids with me until you can prove that you are working on yourself and seeking the help that you need, because I've
One
tried
more.
really long, and I think that's what's hard, is like, we'll have, a good month,
Let's see.
or a good
Let's
couple
see
months, or a good couple weeks,
How far
or
my other chest
things like
is,
that. And
if I
then-
have one.
Then it just kind of like lulls you into like a false sense of security almost. Of like, and then just being so busy. Like, I've got 2 small kids, I work full time, being pregnant, like, it's just, it's a lot to like, to deal with,
And you know, 100%.
What?
A third child that you're having to like parent almost,
Now listen, that's exactly what you're doing. You're parenting a third child, except this third child has humongous muscles.
Yeah.
Dang.
And if a toddler hits you,
He's like, he was a police officer for many years. Like, he's seen women who have gone through this. He's seen, but he just, like, I don't think that he believes, like, he fully understands that, like, hitting me is wrong, or hitting our kids is wrong. But I don't think because, like, this is the way that his family has dealt with conflict. He comes from a very toxic family, and not that excuses his behavior, because he could be different.
Okay, I don't think I have it then, I'm not gonna go any further than that. I guess I'll try right. Nah, every time I try something, it ends up backfiring. Watch some lava come out.
And so sometimes he'll be sorry, and then other times he'll be like, oh, well, if you have made me so sad, that's what you have. You know what I mean?
that's a freaking cow.
See, look, already
This child is weak.
already my pickaxe.
Because he always has a choice. And you do too. You do too. I think the challenge here is you were telling him you have to stop doing your thing, because what you're doing what they are. What you're saying is, I will be a part of that life.
Yeah.
Most people, when they get to where you are, they get right up to this boundary line that they're about to draw really firmly in the ground. Have a couple of challenges. One is
Oh.
economic. Does it sound like that's
I
where
know
you
I
want
have
to get an apartment and
Yeah.
y'all could be okay? Is that fair?
Yeah, I have family in the area. that I
Awesome.
could live with.
By the way, are your family telling you to get the hell out for a long time?
Yeah,
Take
I mean, I
these.
haven't told them that he smashes stuff. You know, they know that I'm kind of his verbal punching
I'll
bag
leave
because they've
these.
seen it in some cases. You know, they've told me, you know, if you ever need a break, like, you don't have to call, just come, like, we'll be here, you know, so they're very supportive
That's them doing
of whatever I need to do.
a pretty
Okay.
lukewarm
Let's do
job
it.
of trying to tell you,
Yeah,
if you're ready to run, we got you.
yeah,
Yeah.
Without trying to overstep their bounds. If you were related to me, I would way overstep my bounds, but I tend to do that all the time.
yeah,
Here's the other thing. Often, if economics are okay, there's a really powerful identity problem.
yeah,
Those women can't make it work.
yeah,
Those women, quote unquote, break up their family. Single moms are fill in the blank, fill in the blank, fill in the blank.
yeah. Yeah, and I have a very strained relationship with his family. His mom, for many years, has tried to break our marriage up, and she's just a very manipulative person, and so I've been told by her, you know, that we're never gonna last, you're never gonna make
Girl,
it,
so what?
you're gonna, you know, she's told my husband,
And
you better watch what you say around her because she's gonna take everything from you and, like, take your kids from you, because that's what her husband tried to do to her, you know, so I know that there is an element of pride there of, like, you know, I don't want to prove this horrible person right, you know, that I essentially...
get
and I know
over that.
it's true, but in my mind, it's like,
She
giddy
doesn't
up,
get a vote.
you know?
She doesn't get a vote.
I'll just
I
take the
wouldn't
one
let
from.
that woman speak one whisper into my mind or my heart.
Yeah.
Not as far. I mean, sheesh. What that becomes is this: a fear that others are going to judge you as harshly as you're judging yourself right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop. You deserve to be safe. You
All
deserve
right,
to
let's go,
walk into
y'all.
your own home pregnant with child number 3 from a day of full-time work, going home to a place where you can drop everything and laugh and be greeted by a former police officer who gets the hell that is women's lives these days and greets you with a hug and a cup of tea and some laughter.
Ooh, I can
Yeah.
go for a cup of tea
Right?
right
Or
now.
a funny dance.
Y'all,
or a
I had
joke,
some
or
tea
at least
at
picked
this,
up your underwear. Not you walked into your home and your body's
tea
preparing
shop,
for war.
Indian tea shop.
Yeah.
Right?
It's really good.
Yeah.
You deserve that. That baby
It's not
that is
chai
just
tea.
bathing in cortisol and
Chai.
adrenaline right now deserves that.
Yeah.
Everybody in that house, your 2 babies deserve that.
Yeah.
And I want you just to just be honest with yourself and look back and say, has anything I've done or said or threatened, has any of that worked? No.
Yeah.
So at some point you gotta try something new. And if you listen to the show for any length of time, I almost never tell somebody they gotta get out. But if your friends are telling you, and your family's offering, and I can tell in your voice you're not telling me everything.
It's a lot to tell,
It's
you
a
know?
lot I know, I'm not blaming you. I wouldn't tell some weirdo on a podcast either. But I think you gotta get with a friend or two, because also it's gonna be very emotional, it's gonna be heavy. And I'm not just saying emotional because you're a pregnant woman, I'm saying if I was doing this, I'd get emotional about it, okay? I would have to have a couple of people in my corner to say, am I making the right move? What's the safe apartment close to schools? Or what's childcare gonna look like? I wanna have all those things lined up. Do I have a bank account with my own money in it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
wrong
get
way.
some people that will
I'm going
think
the
it
wrong way,
through
y'all.
with you. And
Why
if
y'all
you
didn't
can have
tell
one
me?
last conversation that's safe, I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
But if you don't, I don't feel compelled to. Or it might be we can have a conversation after I have locked the gates because you're not listening to my boundaries.
Yeah, and I think it just feels like he's almost like a different person. Like when this stuff happens, you know, it's not. He's generally like a pretty pleasant person when he's in a good mood and things are going well. But it's just like he does not know how to handle life, just in general, like stress.
And that's his job. That's his job.
That.
You cannot solve that.
That's crazy that is his
That's
job
his
and he
adventure.
can't do it.
Well, it's like just what you said about, you know, a toddler. He wouldn't let our toddler.
I feel bad
behave
for
that
her,
way.
but I wonder if she's racist.
And by the way,
Usually guys
anger's
like
good.
that, they
Anger
get like,
points us to something that we care about. Anger is not a bad thing.
look, let me stop.
It's what we do with it. Then he chooses to abuse his wife with it. He chooses to create
Just like,
little kids
I didn't do that.
a nervous system that will never regulate until they get professional help. That's what he's choosing to do.
Oh, I was like, why am I going so
That's
slow?
on him. Those are choices he's making. So what you have to do is to stop wading into his choices. You've done that. You've done it for a long time. You've not put yourself in these situations. What you have to do is begin to solve for safety. Immediately. I'm going to solve for safety. Solve for safety, solve for safety. And tell him you called me. I'm happy to talk to him. Give him some pat out of the madness that he's in. But I don't think this happens through more talking and more talking and more talking and more talking and more talking. I think safety, you have to solve for safety now. And I want you to ask yourself this. Has this been slowly and quietly escalating? Because I always look for trend lines in these situations. Does someone just have a bad day and smash something and they felt like a moron about it and they're so sorry and they go make it right? Or did it start with slamming hands on a table and then break a glass and then smash a thing and then purposely find something you made and break it too and then start screaming and cursing it? If you see this thing escalating, the data would tell me you're next.
Dang. Straight like that.
And I don't want you to be next.
Dang.
Reach out to some friends tonight. I'm gonna start making a plan.
Yeah.
You're worth being safe, and you're worth being well.
Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna play this other one, but I didn't want the music to play, even though it already did. It says our son is a risk to our
Caitlin, are you there?
family.
I am. Thanks so much for having me.
You got it. So I'm going to bring in your husband, fiance. Who is it?
Fiance, yes.
Fiance. All right. I'm gonna bring in your fiance, Rob. Rob, you there?
Yes, I'm here. How you doing?
All right. What's up, homie? All right. So I got Rob and Caitlin. Y'all both on?
Yes, we are.
Awesome. Well, thanks for calling in. How can I help? Let's go. Caitlin, you go first, and then Rob, you respond. I like to make it as dramatic as possible.
Perfect. So my fiance and I are both parents to children from previous marriages. We both have primary custody of our children. So we have a full house and are working through all of the craziness that comes with a blended family. So his son is 6 and my children are 5 and 2. And so the reason that we're calling today is that his son has had some significant behavioral issues predating our relationship, but the growing risk is becoming more prominent as time passes and our kids spend more time together. Just for an example, a couple of weeks ago, all in the same week, his son had hit the babysitter's daughter, got in trouble for physically bullying 2 kids at school, and then even made a death threat toward another student.
At 6?
And at home, he's just disrespectful, doesn't listen, and will lie and try to manipulate us. And while he hasn't physically seriously harmed my kids in the past, there have been instances of hitting or kicking and verbally just being not nice to them pretty regularly. So our question is, I guess my question, while I commend my fiance's efforts to correct and frankly figure out what the issues are, can I or should I continue to subject my children to the reputational, emotional, and physical risk that we see in his son?
I've got a pretty firm answer on that, but Rob, hop in here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, tell me. So Caitlin, I don't want to say put her version on, but like told me the story. Fill in the gaps for me.
So everything that she said is valid. We have been working with
That's
my
so
son.
Gas,
I've
like,
been working
it's
with
valid.
my son since he
What does
was
that
born.
mean?
He has a very when me and his mother got divorced.
Oh, I'm going the wrong way.
The family home situation for him obviously was torn to pieces, and so until he was 4, until he was 5, he would go back and forth every 3 months from my house to his mother's house, and so he was getting a lot of parallel parenting due to animosity.
Okay, here we go.
Between the two of us.
What's
which
parallel parenting?
So, like, you know how, there's
How dare you.
co-parenting where you work together, and then parallel parenting is when we can't, there's no communication. Oftentimes, it's the complete opposite of what I would do is what she would do. For example, his bedtime there is at midnight.
Oh my God.
They don't have dinner. They only snack
At 6?
midnight. And here, bedtime's 8:30, and we eat dinner, and then we go to bed, and that's it.
I have on my notes here. Let me see. So that he drowned a pet. Tell me about that.
What? Bro.
Livestock, and both of the boys were down.
Okay, I know where I'm at now.
And
I know that
we
chasm.
have turkeys, and so they.
It's right up there.
I don't know. We don't know for sure whose idea it was, but they were like, well, let's see if they can swim, because the turkeys, they take well to the kids, and they're very social animals. And so someone, we weren't there physically, but someone had put one of the turkeys in water, and it drowned and died. And then that one was pulled out, and then someone was holding the second turkey, and when I walked up, I called it in, and the water's pretty far from the house, so I called it in, and I just whoever was holding the last bird dropped the bird into the water as well,
Oh yeah, that cortisol. That is so delicious, huh? So no.
So even with the referral, we have been unable to get him in to a licensed psychiatrist or psychologist. And I mean, I've called, Caitlin could attest to this, I've called at least, since we've been trying to get him in, I've called over 20, and I'm on the wait list for at least 6.
Even with the violent outburst?
Yes. They still will not. They won't prioritize or anything. I've tried, and I've told them the full story.
Just school referral?
And even with school referral, I have letters from the school that I share with the pediatrician, and, but even with those letters, I still, aside from taking him to a hospital, which I did talk to them, but they also were saying that that's more of like it's non-emergent.
Yeah, it's an acute thing. I wouldn't do anything.
Yeah. So, it's like, as a father to my son, I'm between a rock and a hard place where the only resource that I have is pediatrician. It's his pediatrician, which is he's great, but I only have the pediatrician and then a school counselor that pays very close attention to him, and between those two, that's all I have. I've tried to get more support than that, but it's just not available. And then with the wait list, I mean, we're planning on moving out of state in the next 3 months. So
where to?
I mean, there's wait lists. We're planning on moving actually to out east to Nashville.
Okay. I would get on a list ASAP. Here's the. What does your pediatrician diagnose this kid with?
So he's been diagnosed with the ADHD, and then he said, so we're still in trial. We had to adjust the medication. We tried sertraline because there was a lot of depression and like self-harm in there.
Kid 6?
6.
Yes, but his mother used to, when he was a baby, this was part of the reason of the divorce, his mother would do self-harm with him, like around him while I would be at work.
PC
and I didn't
running
catch this until I put cameras in the house.
Yeah, jeez. So
Here's what does what she did, which is like banging heads against the wall and scratching her face and scratching his hands.
So this is a kid that's experienced a ton of trauma.
Yeah.
You need to get him into a psych eval, you know that, so I'm not going to beat you up over that. I can't believe in the greater Denver area there's not somebody that can get him in, but I trust that you love your kid and you're trying.
Yeah.
I do know that you could find a child counselor or therapist, and I would be maniacal. Because that child all the things you're telling me suggest that kid has seen some things that this may not be the format for you to talk about all of it, or there may be some things that you don't know, but that kid has seen darkness. Fair?
Oh, dang.
Fair.
Okay. The trajectory of this kid is very
Dang.
It is. And the challenge is his body knows one way to get what it's craving, and that is stability and connection.
All right,
and
y'all, for
it
real, we
knows
going.
one way to do that. And any sort of disruption to that pattern results in these violent outbursts, and they're escalating. And I always want to look at trend lines here. And as you're talking, shoo, this kid has been through hell.
Let's do it.
That's not why y'all called. You know that stuff. I want to encourage you,
Ooh.
somebody,
What's
somewhere.
that? What's that? That's
Because this kid needs to sit with a play therapist.
Oh,
in
I'm
a
at 29.
major way. And if you're
Okay.
moving in the next few months, I would get on the wait list ASAP. ASAP. And the second part is, you can't have other children 5 and 2 in the house in this situation that aren't siblings. You just can't. Because what they're gonna do is they're gonna absorb that, both you and your fiance's angst, that challenge, plus the attention that goes to this kid, plus the not feeling safe in their own home. A home for a child has to be the place that is oxen free, like home base, where they can go touch and say, I'm here. Their home is not that. They have an unsafe other kid here.
Dang.
And
Other
I know
kid.
that's hard to hear, man, but I couldn't in good conscience tell you, yeah, just keep working on it, but I can't, man. It's an unsafe place for that 5 and 2-year-old. And if he's punching kids inside of his own home, sometimes kids act out of context. They'll be really aggressive, at school. They'll be really aggressive here. This is just expanding, and especially in his home. But yeah, that would be my recommendation, man. My number one recommendation would be you gotta get with a child counselor ASAP. If you can't get with a psychiatrist,
Stay.
I get it. But man, gotta get with a child counselor ASAP.
Okay.
And yeah, I would not feel safe about leaving a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old in this situation. Which I know has all sorts of, y'all got plans, y'all want to move, y'all want to do all this stuff. I get all that. This kid needs some stability in a major way.
So another layer to this that we had just talked about and would like your insight on is, and I hear you loud and clear, and it's obviously why I wrote in. But in the instance, just in make-believe land, where we are all a biologically tied together family,
What does that mean?
you know, how would that reaction change?
What's a biologically? Oh, if y'all were
We're all the same parents to the same 3 children.
I mean, it's if I've got a 6-year-old who's experienced severe trauma in isolation of the other 2, that's what makes this challenging. Is normally it's not just one kid that's experienced this in a family system.
Side quest completed.
Right. So, but hypothetically speaking, I have to do what I have to do to protect my kids. If I had to go as far as to get a 1-bedroom apartment and let this kid settle in or go get the medication he needs or be institutionalized for a while because his violence is escalating as a 6-year-old. Or,
Crazy.
What most often happens is a kid experiences sexual trauma at an early age and it just flips the switch and that child becomes a child predator. And that child has to be removed from proximity to other kids, period, point blank, end of story. It's highly, highly disruptive to entire family units if the situation arises that it only happens to one kid. I haven't worked with, I'm just being honest, I haven't worked with families where it's only happened to one kid like that. It's usually everybody's in a big mess when things begin to escalate like this.
So with the recommendation of, or is it basically the recommendation to split the family, or is it like how would we navigate something like that? Like, because we don't have, it's not like we have a grand, like it's not like we have our parents down the road, or you know, it's not like we really have any, not necessarily easy, but any real efficient way to do that.
None of what's happening is going to be efficient. Every single thing that is before you is going to be hard.
And then with the implications of doing that type of lifestyle to help with my son, which is, something's got to give. And
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to work on it and everything, but, if it takes him, however long it takes him, and what are the implications on the relationship and the family as a whole, with us not, if she had to move out of state to go with her parents or something.
People will do anything to date.
Number one.
Like, bro,
Let's get
I know that's your fiance, bro, but come on now, settle. Like, they will be broke, don't care, try to date.
So
This, don't care, try to date.
we're living
Man,
together. You put all these kids in a box together.
yeah. It ain't about you.
But you had
It's
your
about these
romantic
kids.
relationship, which I can almost
Oh my
guarantee
gosh.
you is strained to some degree.
Yeah. He talking about what?
Y'all would
Oh,
be supernatural. Maybe y'all are. It would be supernatural if it wasn't strained.
ooh,
And
what's
then on the other
fun?
hand, I have a little boy who with every breath he takes is screaming, "Somebody save me." Because I can't. And then I've got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old who are just
Oh,
wide
he
eyed,
poisonous. Oh, he poisonous.
not knowing where the next
Oh, my poor
scary
dog.
thing is
No.
gonna come from. All
Oh
of
my
these
God.
are
Oh my
one
God, come over
big
here. What
box
are
of
you doing?
separate issues. And
Oh
if you
my
try to
God,
say, well,
I
what
can't-
about if I do this, then she has to move in with mom, and then if she decides, as your girlfriend, I don't have enough money to move to Nashville, well, that's an issue that y'all need to decide about your romantic relationship.
Oh, thank you,
Your
mister.
priority-
Thank you, doctor.
And Caitlin, I'll tell you this, like, I'd love to see y'all get married and these family come together and all the kids get all the help they need and everything be wonderful. I'd love that.
It's another spawner.
Rob's #1 priority right now is his son. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
And Rob, I know that is devastating.
Wait, you know what? You sit down, because you got issues.
It's exhausting. It's financially maddening. It's unfathomably expensive. You also have the trauma that his mom and whoever she paraded through the house helped create it. Like, all of that, I get it.
Oh,
but it
another
is.
one's just
This
going
is
to
me
come
just
out.
loving you enough to say,
I forgot.
here's reality. And Caitlin, your #1 priority are the 5-year-old and the 2-year-old, your 2 little baby kids. They have to be safe.
That part.
They have to have as Becky Kennedy says, a sturdy, safe mom.
Mm-hmm.
Before y'all decided to blend families.
Oh my God, yes. I didn't even know he was going to say that, y'all. I have not seen
And
it.
it almost feels like there's this,
Trying to.
like, oh, you're drowning,
Selfishness.
I'm drowning. If we lock arms together, maybe we can float. And that's not how this is going to play. It won't play out.
Selfish.
I talk too much, and y'all got real quiet.
Excuse
so
me, y'all.
What do y'all think?
So I know that, like, none of this is, nothing that we haven't been thinking, nothing that we haven't considered. It's just hard, I think, to accept it, just because we did both individually fight so hard for our children, and obviously we'll continue to fight for our children and make them our #1 priorities. We were just hoping to be able to do that together in the long run.
And I don't think that's out of the question. I really don't. I really don't.
So with that being said, with you saying you don't think it's out of the question, I mean, what
He's still trying
could you
to
elaborate
hold on.
that? I mean, I don't know.
I see.
I don't have to go.
Oh,
2 years.
I'm getting everything but the pickaxe. Go ahead, blow it up. Dummy.
A year.
Well, that's well, no.
Okay. And how long has your son, 6-year-old, not seen Biomom?
He goes for the major holidays. He's scheduled to go visit his biomom in about 2 weeks, and he'll be there for roughly 8 days.
I want him to blow it up. Do
Does
it.
his behavior begin to escalate in the weeks leading up to, and especially on the way back?
Yes, leading up to him on the way back.
Don't send him over there then.
And,
Oh my God.
everyone has reported
Some
that
people, I
there's
don't even
a
got kids, y'all.
significant impact on his behavior.
Come on now.
Alright, so I need you as dad to hear that. Behavior's a language. You got a 6-year-old body saying, please don't do this to me.
Pretty much.
And
Oh
at some
my
point, that may mean you got to go back to court and get full custody of this.
Oh my God. I'm so bad at
I
this.
have full custody, but I would have to somehow get. I mean, she would have to have supervised visitation or something like that. I mean, she already. I mean,
Or
she-
no
she already
visitation,
has,
bro.
You know, very minimal.
Oh, okay.
Put this little boy back in an unsafe situation.
Pretty much. Oh my God, people are stupid. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm mad. This is the most I'm talking.
Jumped you on that or a lot, and I'm not saying that
I don't
that's not-
play about
that's
kids,
not
man.
Something that I should do.
I know, but just
because I do.
just look at what this little 6-year-old body's trying to tell you.
Yeah.
And at some point, he's going to circle around and say, Dad, you saw these videos.
And you still let me go over there. Dummy.
You knew some of the stories. The child counselor told you the rest. Why'd you keep putting me back in there, man?
Because you stupid.
Yeah.
And that same conversation with Caitlin and her 5 and 2.
I can't believe you have to tell people this.
Why'd you put us in this? So at the end of the day, let's look at it this way. Relationally, y'all are really struggling. Y'all want it to work, and I want it to work for you. Parenting, we had this vision of how this was gonna work, and it's gonna work great. And we're gonna get some stability and some safety, and that's not working. And so, as parents, what we have to do is be the adults and back out and say, all right, this plan that we wanted to work
Ain't
is
working.
not going to work. So it's not going to be efficient. It's going to be infinitely more expensive. One of us may have to move, and we may have to be long distance for a season. may have to live in an apartment instead of a house. We may have to get some help. We may have to move closer to family. Whatever the thing is, because the goal is mom and dad have to be stable as individuals in their family context, and these kids have to be safe and get the care they need.
Child.
And then we can start talking about blending families. Now, if this was a moody teenager, we'll work through that. This is a violent child. It was clearly, by the way, when I say violent child, I'm not saying they're the problem, but I am saying that that behavior's got to be dealt with downstream. Okay? I love this little boy. I want to hug him. Like, just hearing about him, I want to hug him. With all my guts, I want to hug this little boy. Because I can just imagine he's been through hell.
That's what's hard about it, is when, I mean, there's a lot of things that are hard about it, but that's one of the hardest things for me as his dad, is, you know, I raised him from, I mean, his mother didn't breastfeed. She didn't want to take the time or the effort. I fed him from day one all the way through to now. And I mean, it's really hard seeing him, you know, when he was 3 and even 4, he hadn't really developed these issues. They didn't really come to fruition. But then,
oh,
now
where's my dog,
you know,
man?
He's
Where'd I leave him?
He's forming his own thoughts. He's really he's trying to process things, and he is one of the most loving, kind, amazing kids that anyone could imagine. And then we have just these, you know, he'll flip and just...
Y'all, so many spawners. Oh my gosh.
I mean,
bro.
It's something as simple as, well, somebody didn't want to share something with me, so I pushed them. And it's just... But he, you know, he'll spend hours, 2, 3, 4 hours a day, not every day, but quite frequently, playing with kids and 2-year-olds. And, I mean, they're like best friends. And then, you know, the next day or even later that evening, he'll be like, ew, gross, a baby. And I'm like, buddy, you just gave her a kiss on the forehead and told her you loved her an hour ago. And now you're saying, ew, gross, a baby, I don't want you in my room, don't touch me. Like, I don't, it's really challenging to navigate.
And the challenge for an adult, often working with a young kid, is taking our adult rational mind and dropping it into a body that growth-wise, hormonally, trauma-wise, and just skills. Just having the skills on how to navigate.
Oh, that's it.
Feelings that feel like shit.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have that. He just doesn't have a model of that. And he's got a little body that is still trying to figure out where mom is, because their heartbeats are connected.
And that's the other tough thing too, is with the dynamic, the family dynamic that we've had over the past year of living together. I mean, there's not a sentence that
oh, that's another little spot over there.
Something along the lines. I mean, he calls her mom. Her kids call me dad.
Let's see, guys.
He won't leave the bus without trying to get a kiss or a hug or something. And I mean, like last night, me and him spent the night or the evening, because the kids and mom were in town, and we spent the evening cleaning, and he was just excited about how happy she was going to be when she got home and saw the house clean. And it's just, there's the logical understanding of, like, okay, well, if, you know, given his current state, you know, the logical thing would be to, you know, separate him from, or separate, basically. But then also I'm worried about the emotional impact, not only on him, but her kids as well. I mean,
and listen, all of the, I get that, totally get that, and there's no question it'll be disruptive, no question.
Oh my God,
But what we're not
that was creepy. Did y'all see that?
What we're not dealing with is
He was literally peeking around the corner like.
Emotional feelings. We're dealing with safety, and safety has to trump it. It has to come over the top. And if we see escalating behaviors and unsafe behaviors, and suddenly he's went from shoving a kid to closed fist hitting a kid, went from accidentally drowning an animal to I'm just gonna drop the other one in there and see what happens. Of course there's remorse on the other side. I don't think he's a sociopath.
What?
But I think that
I mean, not yet.
the impact mom has had on his life, his bio mom, and her demons, and her handing those demons over to her son, literally. I think he needs some professional intervention ASAP. This may be as simple as, I don't say as simple as, this one will be tough. This one will be tough. But it may be as straightforward as him sitting with a child play therapist and learning
Didn't
some
even
skills.
hurt me. Just
Sitting
kamikaze
with an
yourself.
occupational therapist
Crazy.
and sitting with some professionals who can teach him some skills, teach you some skills.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
doing the hard thing about the legal matters, he doesn't need to be around mom anymore. If mom is not safe, if mom's home is not safe, if the men that mom brings into the home are not safe, baby doesn't need to be there. 6-year-old doesn't need to be there anymore, period. There may be a season of separation.
Nothing.
There may be some more angst on the heels of that. We're dealing with safety here, not feelings and emotions. Safety. Once he begins to learn safety, we don't hit other people. We don't assault other people. We don't hurt animals. We don't respond to our lack of power with violence. Now we're going to talk about what does it look like to blend a family. A family that's experienced trauma, a family that's experienced loss, a family that's experienced all those things. Guys, and I know, listen, I'd hug you both if you were here. I know this is hard. And like Caitlin said, I think this is something y'all have been wrestling with. And so I promise on the shows I'm going to tell you the truth. I hate it for you.
I've
I
been
hate this
trying to
hassle.
save the railroads. I haven't liked them before, but now I was thinking about doing my netherworld with all the.
See somebody when you got your baby that your child is hurting. But find a counselor, find a therapist, ask your school counselor
You know
if they
what?
can refer you to somebody.
Let's see
There's going to
about
be
over here
people
first.
in the local network that your school counselor can send you to. That maybe it's just a
Let me
licensed marriage family therapist, a counselor, a social worker, somebody, a licensed play therapist that can teach your kids some skills. And forensically, get some info on what he's actually experienced, because my gut tells me he's been through hell. Your kids are lucky that y'all love them. I'm proud of y'all for fighting for them, but the fight's just begun.
Oh. Alright, y'all. We'll probably play another one. Are we too touchy-feely in front of our kids? Ew. Okay. We're not gonna do that one. We're gonna listen to... Gaming Harry, The Bridge Curse, The Extrication, Story Explained. Oh, no, don't play it!
Hello, and welcome to the latest installment
Alright.
of Law and Order, the video series where I look at and unpack stories from games. In this one, we'll be diving into the follow-up to Softstar's 2022 horror title, The Bridge
I went
Curse
this
Road
way,
to Salvation,
nothing there.
and looking at the story behind The Bridge Curse 2, The
So this is kind of
Extrication.
like done
Overall,
for
I
a
really
little.
enjoyed the first game.
Besides
It
for
was
all
based on a
those-
film of the same name,
You
which
know
followed
what?
a group of students
I
taking
should
part
go
in a
back and dig
community
them up,
test,
but I'm
which
not.
is basically a courage test undertaken by young people as a means to build courage by confronting suspected paranormal phenomena. However, The Bridge Curse 2 doesn't follow
So
a film per
this
se. It merely
is
carries
done.
the franchise on and features a brand new standalone narrative and plot,
Oh.
which features very loose ties to the first game.
Like trying to
Still,
find
I
the
really enjoyed
branching
this
hallway
game
to
just as
cover
much
it.
as I did the first. Now, given that this game is just released, I need to mention that there will be spoilers in this video for the game I'm about to talk about. I know, shock horror. But that's the intro
Alright.
done. Let's begin.
Oh, my eye is itchy.
It's near to midnight on the 21st of August
Should I go back?
2016,
Yeah,
and
I'll go
former
back.
news anchor, now a reporter, Sulian, is watching the Wenhua University Film Group's movie trailer, which had gone viral after they supposedly caught the hand of a real live
Oh.
ghost on film. With the country currently celebrating Ghost Month or the Ghost Festival, Sue speaks to her boss and says this is a perfect time to get an exclusive interview with the film group behind this creepy trailer. Naturally, she doesn't have an appointment, and the university won't exactly be keen on Sue's presence there, as her news outlet portrayed the university in a bad light regarding a missing persons case from the year 2000 when a student named Huang Ting Ting went missing. Truth is that Sue actually received a mysterious photograph of the safe, along with a message on the back of the photograph that said, "Help me," and was apparently from Huang Ting Ting. Despite warnings from her boss, Sue proceeds into the university's Darren building. Taking the elevator up, she eventually finds the military instructor's office. She's been in contact with one of the film crew who is nicknamed Doc, and he has told her that she needs to obtain the key for the registrar's office. Avoiding the guard, Sergeant Wang, Sue finds the key for the office and goes to it. Finding some geometric shapes, she works out the code to the safe, and inside she finds a VHS tape, and the tape is titled The Elevator Incident from the year 2000. Taken completely by surprise, Sue is scared by the sergeant. Mistaking her for a freshman at first, he soon discovers that she is a reporter. What's more is that he recognizes her from her previous job as a lead anchor for the United News Corporation. Sue explains that she's there to interview some students. She suggests that she can interview him. He's reluctant, but he eventually comes around and agrees to tell her some stories about when her
Go down the water.
He hears a crash coming from outside the room and goes to check it out. He doesn't return, so Sue tries to track him down. She finds him in the canteen area, and he's acting suspiciously, trying to cover up a stain on the floor. After buying her a drink from the vending machine, he sits down for the interview. Showing him the video of Huang Ting Ting before her disappearance, he says that she was a good kid, and he says that he knew her. Changing the topic, talking about his job, Sue asks about the sergeant's relationship with his wife. He says that his wife died a long time ago in an accident. He pulls out a photograph of her and says that she used to work there at the university as a nurse. He thanks Sue for taking the time to listen, and he takes her to the school's history room. On the way, he stops to honour Professor, who is a dog named Pootie, who passed away in 1972. In the history room, Sue learns a bit more about the school, but she notices that a certain photo of the university being opened features a man whose features have been scratched out. Sue goes to take a photo, but the Sarge asks her not to take any with him in them. So Sue takes pictures of some of the items displayed. The Sarge then realises the time. It's 11:34 p.m, approaching midnight, and he starts to hurriedly tell her that she needs to leave. Another crash from around the corner leads the Sarge away, and Sue takes her opportunity to enter into the screening room and watch the video, telling herself that she still has 17 minutes to go until midnight. She plays the tape. On it, she sees Huang Ting Ting inside the building's elevator on the eve of her disappearance. Ting Ting was acting very strangely. 15 minutes later, the tape shows Ting Ting returning to the elevator with a lantern, still acting strangely. Then Sue sees a hand, the same hand from the viral movie trailer. Then something happens. Sue leaves the room and grabs the oil lantern from the display case. It seems to be imbued with some kind of magic energy, and it lights itself. Then the lights in the building start flickering. The ghost of a woman says, "Help me," and then flies towards Sue. Holding the lantern up to the photo of the man with the face scratched out makes it warp and shift into something grotesque, slightly freaking Sue out. Using the lantern, she reveals echoes of time gone by, these ones seeming to reflect a young girl running away from someone, or something. Words are written on the wall saying that he is a liar, and the person is asking for help. Inside the elevator, after clearing a cloud of key energy, Sue uncovers a yin-yang symbol. At that moment, the clock hits midnight, and something happens to the elevator. The power goes off, and Sue attempts to use the emergency call button. She begins to speak, but she hears the voice of Ting Ting, desperate for help. She also hears the voice of the Sarge too. Ting Ting speaks of a female ghost chasing her, wanting to eat her, and that there's blood everywhere and that the woman's neck is broken. She then screams, the doors open. Sue steps out and finds herself in the kitchen.
So I know not to go back there.
This ghost is known as the Necklace Consort, and using the lantern's energy as a way to repel the horrific entity, Sue hides and has to avoid the ghost. She manages to sneak around, removing clouds of key energy, eventually making a run for the elevator and to safety. Well, not really. The elevator somehow plummets to a floor that does not even exist. To
Nothing
B3.
weird.
Going back to around an hour earlier, the focus now shifts to the Wenway University Film Group. The director, Richie, a finance student and part of a wealthy and influential family, is under a lot of stress. Since the trailer went viral, he's now feeling the pressure to deliver a film that lives up to the hype. Not only that, he's scared about the ghost in the trailer. A fellow student who wrote the script, named Ahai, doesn't seem at all fazed about ghosts or spirits, and suggests they just get on with the film. Doc is there too. They talk about the fact that they have 2 weeks until the first screening of their film, so they go through various scenes and where everyone will be standing. The movie itself will be based upon the real-life 1960 Darren murder, which took place in the same building, and is to be titled The Hexed Building. It's a story involving the daughter of the founder of the university, Zhu Yuyi, and her murder at the hands of her fiancé, the architect of the university, a man named Yan Shuwen. They're going through their scene when Richie hears the sound of a young girl crying, coming from one of the storerooms. Desperate to prove his bravado to Ahai since he has a crush on her, he goes and checks it out.
Ooh, that sounds creepy.
要是他想不开怎么办？是，早知道找海乐一起来，至少他有钥匙。
只能有一个，为什么不是我？烦死了，烦死了！ 根本就不需要我。
Okay. Oh. How did I end up back here? Oh, that's the way I came from. Okay.
After picking up the ballerina figurine and checking out the room, only to find absolutely no one in there, the three students go to another classroom and film a test run for their scene. Despite being concerned about having to be out by midnight, the university's policy, Richie hands the props out and they do their scene. Ahai gets a little freaked out at some point, and then they realise that Richie hadn't pressed record on the camera, even though he could swear that he did. So they try again.
好，那我们再来一次喽。这场预备。
Sorry, guys.
Action.
Alright.
海乐，木尔，你们在哪里啊？不是，不是，哇！
Wait, what? Oh.
Unsure of what the hell just happened to him, Richie comes to and finds himself in an unfamiliar place. This place appears to be from another world. He can't find his friends anywhere. Setting out to try and track them down, he enters the elevator. It takes him to a long hallway, and this hallway seems to transport him somewhere else. He enters into a game room and encounters a possessed doll who welcomes Richie as a contestant and to the House
Sorry if
of
y'all
Horrors.
can't see. Y'all
She
know.
speaks as someone
Sorry
else
if y'all
being
can't
there.
see. Y'all know
She
how
also
frugal I
mentions
am
that
with
this person wasn't scared of
torches.
her. Richie needs to play hide and seek, and then the doll will tell him where Doc and Ahai are.
Ooh, I
The
don't
doll
wanna
is
move
using
them
the
because-
computer screens to hide, and using a USB stick, Richie finds the doll 3 times, and the doll is
saw
pulled out of the
gravel up there.
computers and into
Oh,
the room.
it fell on the
The
side
doll
of me.
speaks of a really scary ghost being down there. Richie attempts to console the sad doll as she jumps at him and disappears. Moving on, following the green orb, Richie finds Doc in the women's bathroom. However, Doc has been possessed by the spirit from the doll. Doc had played the doll at the same game previously, and as a result lost and got possessed. Trying to slap the demonic out of him, Richie tries to make Doc see sense, but this does not work. A geezer with a lamp is mentioned, along with the fact that this geezer was there 30 years ago, and that he ensured that spirits would be trapped there in the university. The green orb opens up another games room. There's another game to play. In this one, it says that solving 3 puzzles will allow the player to be granted anything that they wish. So, receiving a special key, Richie opens up 3 boxes and receives some blank papers, a decorative plate, and some sticky red liquid. A hidden door is opened in the game room, and this leads to a secret room with strange drawings on the walls and an altar, and on said altar is a special Ouija board. Going off of instructions, Richie places the items on the board and chants the words. He is answered by a spirit. The spirit was referred to by the Games Club as the Dark One, and it confirms that this is who Richie is speaking with. The spirit also refuses to let Doc and Ahai leave safely. However, it does allow Richie to find Ahai. The conversation ends and the passageway opens up underneath the altar. Doc goes flying down into it. Going down there, Richie finds Doc again in the elevator, which moves as soon as Richie is inside. Doc is no longer possessed, but after being slapped again, he freaks out and runs off. Going after him, Richie finds himself in another different area. He observes a shadow of a ballerina practicing her dancing. Moving on, he eventually comes to a dance studio and finds a broken music box. Doc is terrified and is hiding inside a locker. Approaching the dance studio, a ballet dancer shows up and is practicing. And there's something that Richie needs from inside the studio, but he dare not disturb the dancer's practice. Careful to avoid her gaze,
Looks like
sneaks
he
through the
dancing
dance
off
studio and
of
grabs the ballerina
Legend of
figure
Zelda.
and places it into the music box. The ballerina freaks out but takes the bait, and this draws her away from the exit door. After Doc helps get the door open, there's a chase on, and the mad ballerina is angry. Nonetheless, Richie makes it to safety. After some fooling around with different masks on ballerina mannequins, Richie witnesses a ballerina using the very same Ouija board, meaning that they too...
Oh my god. Oh wait, no, the chest! Oh!
To enter in and pick up the missing head for the figurine he picked up earlier, Richie witnesses a performance by the mad ballerina.
Oh my god. I was like, please don't blow up that chest. Oh, wasn't even nothing. Besides for a name tag. You. Oh, something up there. Nothing back here. Oh, that's funny. Ooh.
After this, Richie has to survive by avoiding the mannequins. Eventually, the performance comes to an end, and joined by Doc, Richie heads onto the stage and witnesses another disturbing scene involving the death of the
Why
mad
can't I pick
ballerina.
up?
What's more is that the mad ballerina's actions were being controlled and manipulated by the Dark One. A bunch of flowers are also on the stage along with the music box. Reattaching the head and placing the now complete ballerina figure into the music box sees the mad ballerina seemingly in peace, along with another ballerina.
Just do this
They
real
leave
quick.
and see Ahai walking around with a lantern. They attempt to shout to her, but to no avail, as she cannot hear them. Progressing, Richie slips after a surface gives way, but despite Doc's best efforts, he falls a short way down. Whilst Richie has been going through all of that, Ahai has been busy too. When Richie spotted the dark figure in the camera, Ahai saw it too. It seemed to call out the name of the woman she was playing, as if the dark figure was after her specifically. After Richie and Doc got whisked away to some other parallel world, Ahai was left there in the room, alone. Exiting the room, she has to flee from evil hands that are trying to grab her. She evades them, grabbing the lantern that Sue had dropped, and she enters into the elevator. As expected, creepy things start to happen, and the anima lantern lights up. The hands come through and touch her, and exiting the elevator, she seems to have been transported to 1963, another parallel reality, when the university was still under construction. Ahai then spots the green orb, which disappears behind a locked door. Further down the hall, Ahai enters into another room, and she's inside the office of the university's founder, Wen Xiong. The green spirit shows Ahai a photograph of Yu Yi, Wen Xiong's daughter, and the woman who was murdered by the architect in 1960. Ahai is slightly freaked out as she herself bears a striking resemblance to the young woman.
Okay.
She also finds a proof of engagement
This
between
whole
Yi
little
and
wing
Yan
blocked
Shuwen,
off.
along with a strange rock, and a letter to Wen Xiong regarding the engagement of Yu Yi and Yan, along with a glowing endorsement from another gentleman who had introduced Wen Xiong to Yan in the first place. Ahai witnesses a flashback which sees Yu Yi essentially being forced to marry Yan, an arranged marriage.
Okay,
She tried
this
to
way
warn her
next.
father what Yan was like, but he was having
And then
none
after
of
we
it.
do that
Wen Xiong
way,
spoke of the
we'll
rock
go down
Yan
to
gave
the
him,
bottom.
and he was almost mesmerized by it, saying it belonged to a high-ranking monk. Yu Yi comments how her father has changed, and she hands him a key to Yan's office so he can see what he's been up to, but he's not interested. Instead, admonishing his daughter. Afterwards, the key is on the desk now, so Ahai finds the gate entry to Yan's office. Yu Yi was right. Yan was up to something very shady. She also solves some puzzles that are clearly of occult design, and this reveals a secret passage leading to a back area. Ahai discovers a load of old surveillance equipment. Yan was spying on people and trying to see what they were up to. Up a ladder into another hidden section, Ahai discovers the blueprints for the building dated 1959. Yan used something called dark geomancy in order to haunt the direct building. Ahai surmised that the ghostly hands have something to do with Yan. Ahai hears a voice.
Come on, I'm
Sarge
streaming.
is a
I don't even know.
echo of the Sarge. How is he there in
I might
1963?
stop soon, y'all.
Why does he look exactly the same? Either way, the Sarge sees all the equipment there and becomes very suspicious of what Yan is up to. Following the echo of the Sarge, Ahai follows him to the nurse's room, and another echo reveals the Sarge and the direct building's nurse, Tan Junmei, were in love. Anyway, the Sarge reveals what he found in Yan's office and says it's dark magic, and he tells Junmei to be careful around him. After this, Ahai hears a phone conversation in which Yi and Junmei agree to meet in the parking garage. Heading down to level B2 and uncovering various echoes, sees Ahai uncover a bloodstained shovel, a high heel covered in blood, and a bloodstain on the wall. These were all items from the murderers used to get their hands on Yan. Spotting another echo of the past, Ahai witnesses the brutal assault on Yuki. Yan talks about a magic
Oh,
circle
where he at? Where'd he go?
and that when it is, he'll come for her. The nurse Junmei turns up as arranged and Yan hits her with the shovel too. Tragically, her head gets caught in the lift, and Yan is revealed to be the Dark One, the dark figure that Ahai encountered earlier on. He chases Ahai, saying that she is now Yu Yi. Avoiding the evil hands, Ahai is able to give the Dark One the slip. She is back in the elevator and back in 2016 again. She explores and hears a phone ring. It's Sulian's phone. She recorded herself being dragged away and tried to upload it, but the upload failed. Thinking she's nearby, Ahai looks around and finds a flower on her desk, but has to hide as the now evil sergeant roams around. He's mumbling and groaning, but he eventually leaves after picking up the flower I had dropped. Inside a safe, she finds what the sergeant placed inside, the key to the nurse's office. Thinking that this may be where the sergeant took Sue, Ahai goes there and finds a hidden passage. Inside the passage, she finds Sue's journalist identification, indicating that she's in a trap. Exiting the passage, Ahai finds herself in a locked down area of the university, hearing a bang from above the ceiling tiles. She investigates.
That's what the lava is, right? Oh, oh, I knew it. Oh. So that was it for this.
Having to run and hide from the necklace console and find a way to open up some doors, Ahai makes it to the other side, but is attacked by the necklace consort.
And I've been
She's
down
rescued
here.
by a still alive Sue,
I obviously
throws
been
some
down
flowers
here
at the
before.
ghost, and they both make it to safety. A short ways down the
Oh, I
corridor
was
they
gonna
see another
explore
ghost.
more.
This one is friendly, and Sue says that this is the ghost of Huan Ting Ting, the girl who went missing in the year 2000. Sue says that her spirit has been helping her escape. She is directing them towards a strange room.
I think I want that lava.
Inside the room is a massive plinth,
So I
and
can
Echo reveals
pour
that
it
Huan
down.
Ting Ting entered into this room before she went missing.
Create
Door
a light
opens, and
source.
proceeding further into the corridor, a rumbling occurs, similar to an earthquake. She finds a strange shape and uses it to make up the yin-yang symbol, and this opens up another door. Inside this one, there are a bunch of symbols and seals. In the middle
gonna
is
do it.
something known as the Circle of Wu. Placing the lantern onto a plinth powers the circle up.
You know what? I
And
can just
inside
make
the
another
circle,
bucket.
they see the Dark One. The spirit has clearly been locked away.
Well, I think I
and for
see
good
more
reason.
wood,
The door opens,
I
and
think?
out of the
I don't know.
darkness comes the evil Sarge. So let's see what Doc and Richie were up to. Well, after Richie's fall down to the level below, he and Doc gather themselves and push on, eventually coming into contact with the green orb again. The orb reveals a series of drawings and markings on a wall which appear to depict the entity being locked away at the university.
Oh, why
While in
did I
another
do that?
strange room, Doc and Richie extinguish some candles in order to open a door. Doc receives a call from his great uncle, who is a priest at a temple. He's not very happy and tells Doc that he's messing with stuff he shouldn't. Whilst telling Doc to leave the place, the line goes dead. Richie and Doc get separated, and finding a way around, Doc comes to an electrical room. He needs to power 2 sectors up in order to open a big door, the exit, but this is made all the more difficult by the presence of the angry evil Sarge. Escaping him, Doc proceeds further down the hallway and comes across another strange room. In this one, Doc has to match elements to the elements that defeat them. For example, water beats fire, and this opens up the exit door. Progressing further again shows Doc that the previous wall markings have been altered by the Dark One in an attempt to stop what they actually mean. Ahai calls Doc, and she says that the seal trapping the evil spirit cannot be broken. A little further along, following the green orb, Doc comes across Richie. He seems to have been tricked into performing a ritual by the Dark One. He's being manipulated and has marked on his
I don't
back
like
show
these.
for
They
it.
tell everybody
Anyway,
where
Richie
your
has
location
inadvertently
is.
released the Dark One
That's-
from the Circle of Wu. The green spirit was the Dark One all along, and that is what has tricked them into releasing the Dark One. Richie snaps out of it, but it's too late, as the Dark One, now manifesting as true darkness, is released.
If you jump in that lava, I swear.
They run for it while being chased through various hallways. Doc and Richie unite with Sue and Ahai. They need to go, but Richie bravely tries to close the door, but is gravely injured by the monster. Ahai runs towards Richie, getting trapped inside with the monster and the Sarge. Ahai, well passed out, sees a memory belonging to Yu Yi.
Oh,
She didn't die
what
straight
was I
away, but
thinking?
she was gravely injured. After spotting his deceased wife, the Sarge carried Yu Yi away. This memory merges into Ahai's own
Ooh,
vision,
what
and the
if
Sarge
I
has carried
touch
her
it
away and places her
when
down.
I'm going down?
The Sarge says that he didn't expect her to come back, saying it must be fate. He says that the lamp will protect Ahai's soul, and that she should hold on to it.
You know what?
The Sarge
You're
says
right.
that the seal has been broken and they don't have much time. The call from Sue and Doc reveals that they are both
Oh.
fine. Heading into the elevator,
Ooh,
Ahai and the
y'all.
Sarge descend to level B3, the level that should not even exist.
Oh,
Passing the
it's
stricken
water
corpse
down
of
there.
Ting Ting, Ting Ting's spirit asks them to save them all. Finding
Ah!
a strange sculpture, Ahai uses it to create a shadow, and this opens up a door. This leads to a
I'm
place known as
done,
the Gate
y'all.
of Chaos. The gate itself cannot be opened until 2 items are
Oh,
recovered.
that's too much.
The Eye of the Dieting and Yan Shu Wen's corrupted heart. Heading to one side of the chaotic ruins, Ahai spots something behind a large and fancy door. Removing some seals and avoiding the monster, Ahai manages to get the door open and grabs the first piece, the Eye of the Dieting. Heading to the other side after another encounter with the monster, she heads into what is the final resting place of Yan Shu Wen. His corrupted heart, the core of the Dark One, is inside his coffin with his body glowing, and after a chase, Ahai returns to the Gate of Chaos and places both items into the Dieting statue on the gate.
stay here. You will jump in the lava. Just get a look.
Is actually the important item in obtaining either a good or bad ending. In the good ending, if Ahai managed to successfully avoid the monster, Sarge picks up the lantern. Now that the Dark One is gone and giving Ahai the prayer beads given to him by his wife, with all of his affairs in order and wanting to with his wife, the Sergeant of her life. After this ordeal, Ahai and Doc finished the film, and she is also working on a script for a film to honour the Sarge and his story. Watching the film in the screening room, flowers, saying that she wanted to be there. She reveals that everyone thinks that Richie simply disappeared. In the bad ending, if Ahai
I was about to say, I haven't seen gold in a while, y'all.
Therefore breaking the lamp. This means that there is no light source to guide her while she's going through the gates of chaos. This also means that despite the Dark One being gone for good, Ahai will end up forever lost in the Netherworld, unable to find her way back. After this, Sue, despite being very busy, makes time to keep in touch with Doc, who is still trying to find clues in the university in order to try and find Ahai, and Sue visits him at the university. Going to the screening room, they watch the film which Doc finished in order to honour Richie and Ahai. And then Sue leaves. In the parking garage, however, she receives a strange phone call from Ahai. The game then ends. Okay, so as usual, there's a lot to dive in here and elaborate on, but let's start with Wenhua University itself. In the history room, Sue learns that Wenhua University was founded in 1955 by a man named Zhu Wenjiang. Some of you eagle-eyed players out there will recognise the name from the first game. In the first game, which took place in Donghu University, we learned that the students of Donghu were essentially competing with the other universities. At some point, Ji from the first game actually contacts Ahai and warns her that she and her film club should be careful, and mentions that something happened to his group of friends in February of that same year. Anyway, according to the building's history, the Darren building was named after the ideals of perseverance
I'm not
and
complaining,
fortitude.
but, you know.
The hope was that students would take on these principles. The location of the university was
just kind
ideal.
of unsettled a little.
Distractions, as it was based
Wondering
in the
when
mountains
the
and
other
sat
ball
on
is gonna
approximately
drop.
165 acres of land, being comprised of 4 different schools. The fact that it was sat on a colossal amount of yin and yang energy is significant, as the core principle of yin and yang is that everything needs to be in harmony. They are opposites, yet they complement each other. 2 separate parts needed to make one whole. It's a complicated topic, but I'd be eager to hear your thoughts on yin and yang.
Oh my god,
specifically
y'all.
how it ties into this story. So leave a comment below
That was
your thoughts.
lucky.
Spooky stuff would start happening every year at the same time in conjunction with the 7th.
That was the luckiest of luck I could have
Anyway,
ever
the
lucked.
university would obviously hit the headlines when in July 2000.
Not only
a
did I
student
not
finds
fall
his
to my
team
death,
missing.
I fell
The
on
university were
diamonds.
desperate to save face and doctored the surveillance footage, keeping the master tape locked away in a safe. But let's
We
move on
found
now
out
and
put
look
my
into the
bed.
architect.
Because I feel like regardless of whether I'm underground or not, they start
The
walling
architect for the
around
university,
this
Yan
time.
Shu-wen,
Well,
was an
when it's time to
award-winning
go sleep.
architect who, after working in the UK, had gone back home in order to try and prove himself to the Yan family, who are a long line of successful architects themselves. They disapproved of his new and unique method of using feng shui and his
Where
departure
did I
from
find
the
that on?
traditional
Like,
architecture.
5
One
or
day,
something?
Zhu Wenjiang was introduced to Yan Shu-wen, and he instantly took a liking to him. So much so that he considered him a perfect suitor
Okay,
to marry
let's
his
go back
daughter,
immediately.
Zhu Yi. When Jiang had been preparing for this, he'd already previously sent Yu Yi off to a bridal academy in 1955, and there she was able to learn all the things that would make her a good wife and a good mother. The first time Yan saw Yu Yi, he was infatuated. As a result of Wen Zhong's fondness for Yan, he chose to be at the university. Yan gifted Wen Zhong with a some form of dark energy. The university was built by Yan, Feng Shui, also known as Chinese geomancy, and environment. It utilizes the 5 elements: earth, metal, water, wood, and fire, and these elements come from the Taoist tradition, with Taoism being the way of nature. The energy map of Feng Shui is known as Bagua, a Chinese word meaning 8 areas. And you may have seen in the game that the university had 8 trigrams, which were seen in the elevator when uncovered by the lantern. Now these were to be built in a specific order, and this would serve to drive out evil spirits using yin and yang energy. However, Yan had something
What I
far
can take
more
out?
sinister
This?
planned for the university.
I can take
In the
out.
conversation with the sergeant,
Don't
he's
really
telling
care
Sue
for
about the
this.
design of the building
Honestly,
and
don't
says
really
the
care for any of the
direction and
scenes.
angles of the 8 trigrams need to be aligned perfectly. But in the case of Wenhua,
Oh.
these angles were purposely reversed by Yan. The builders then got to work at constructing it, none the wiser. This action would draw in the evil energy and keep it trapped there inside the building, meaning that anyone trapped there is now stuck there as a ghost or a spirit and is unable to move on or escape. He would research and construct bone and blood arrays which used corpses and skeletons of people that died tragic deaths. This resulted in the creation of extremely powerful evil spirits. In this notebook, Yan states that he needed a
Go back
border
down.
between 2 regions that were rich in energy gathers in front of the gate of Paradise. He also mentioned that he would apply this formation to himself. So let's discuss the mysterious character that is the Sarge. Now, it turned out that he worked at the university as early as 1960. During his time there, working as the military instructor, he was a popular person, and he grew especially fond of the Darren Building's nurse, Jun Mei, and the two eventually got married. He mentions to Su Lian that it took him ages to win her over. He was originally working in another building and got transferred to the Darren Building after its construction was completed, and the two fell in love, write letters to one another, and he'd give her flowers. She would give him some prayer beads too, as a way for him to be safe at night. But then, the unthinkable happened. Jun Mei was killed in an accident. As with the other people that died there, her spirit was stuck there, unable to leave, and the sergeant would vow to keep working there at night in order to keep students safe, and also to try and help his wife's spirit escape. Sergeant Huang mentioned that he'd spent a lot of time there alone. During one of the conversations, he seemed to demonstrate a lot of knowledge.
Have you ever
regarding
played?
Feng Shui
Have you
and the
ever?
spiritual
Okay.
nature of it. This is a result of him being
Ninja,
there for
let's
so
play.
long that he tried
Okay,
to find
I
out
guess
as
you
much
don't want to
information
play.
as he could about what Yan had done. Another thing that alludes to how long Sergeant Huang has been at the university is the dispute regarding Pooty the dog. Apparently, the sergeant used to try and reconcile Pooty and his arch nemesis, the
walk your
Black
enemy
Cat,
down,
and
let
this was
him
way
poke
back
your
prior
face.
to 1972, which was the year Pooty died. He was also around during the 1960 murder too, meaning that he's been there for decades, probably for around 56 years. The prayer beads his wife gave him helped him maintain his sanity and humanity, but as we see in the game, he eventually succumbed to the evil
chances. Alright, y'all see?
and mutated into a
None.
horrific demonic
None.
form. He seems
Zero.
unable to control this form at
It's when you
times,
get,
as we see him
it's when you
multiple
get
times
like
throughout the game
a
using
false
his
sense of
forms.
security. That's when stuff start popping off.
Now let's look at what happened during the 1960 murder, or I should say murders. As we've already discussed,
Like I don't put those down, right? I don't put those down. The skeleton comes back and shoots me out of nowhere. That's exactly what would have happened if I didn't do that.
the key to Yan's office and told him to look for himself, but instead, Wenjiong shouted at Yugi for stealing the key. Truth is that the strange stone that Yan gave to Wenjiong was actually cursed, and was the reason that Wenjiong was seemingly infatuated with Yan. Yan also kept a voodoo doll in his safe, ensuring that Wenjiong was to be his puppet for as long as he needed him. During her highest journey through the under-construction Darren building, she witnesses an echo of the sergeant Junmei. Junmei is talking about her concern that Wenjiong is setting Yugi up to marry Yan, and the sergeant is happy about it as well. In a phone conversation between the two, we see that Yugi stated that Yan wants to talk about them ending their engagement, and Yugi is obviously happy about this, and says that Yan will meet her in the parking garage at midnight, but of course, this was just
How I look like that?
Yugi wanted Junmei to meet her there
I'm just
too.
tripping.
Prior to Yan's assault on Yugi, it seems that he tried to present her with a red envelope with money in it, and this signifies love between two parties. It's likely that Yugi threw this envelope to the floor and ran off, telling Yan that she refuses to marry him. This is when the murders take place. Yan hits Yugi with the shovel.
How much I got? How
As
many?
Junmei turns up,
13?
he hits her
Shovel
and she
back?
dies too, becoming the vengeful spirit known as the Necklace Consort. He used to want to but he passed away
y'all, I'm really concerned why there isn't that many
Later on,
mobs.
Sergeant Wang instead hid the bones inside a cooling
I
pot.
promise you I have this on normal.
The console was originally confined to the abandoned infirmary wards behind the nurse's office, but eventually got out
Okay,
and directly
this looks
into the cell.
confusing.
When
Here they
Superman
come.
encounters the necklace
Oh.
console,
Oh no, oh no, oh no.
livestock in the kitchen,
Okay, alright,
indicating that
let's
she
do
had
it.
been feeding on
Oh.
livestock from the mountains.
Alright.
But that's just a theory. An old exchange diary shows that Hong had been writing to his wife, frustrated at not being able to find a way to liberate his wife's spirit from the Darren building. He would visit her, but her spirit became more and more evil over time, to the point that he'd bring her flowers in order to try and calm her down, as the flowers had a strange effect on her. One question is, why would the university knowingly keep a full tape of what happened to Mandy from the police? Well, it's because they knew the place was haunted by evil spirits. Decades beforehand, the school did the point that it
Okay, let's check this out
This
first.
help came in the form of towers and priests from the Mandan Palace. Their job was to get rid of the demon. They brought with them the anima lantern, which is a lantern adorned with religious symbology and would protect the formation of evil spirits. However, this lantern initially came with a warning that it was not to be used unless absolutely necessary, and also not to become reliant on the lantern either. It seems that the priests were inside the building and were still under construction, as window on the wall in the still under construction direct building states that people keep dying. They resort to placing 9 incense sticks into a burner, as these 9 sticks signify that more spiritual help is needed in order to deal with whatever spirit needs dealing with. In other words, the priests were struggling, as due to Yan's knowledge of feng shui and geomancy, they were up against a
How many I got?
demon who knew
27?
every
Yep.
trick in the book.
Going back.
They tried to cast the demon out, but the demon was way too strong. With hope running out, the priests came up with one last thing. After their master sacrificed himself to seal away the demon, the other priests buried Yan's body in the chaotic ruins near to the Gate of Chaos. They wrapped his corrupted heart in talismans and sealed it inside the coffin along with his body. They locked the eye of the Diting behind an ornate door. Then they created 4 seals. These were designed to keep the demonic entity locked away for eternity until future generations could figure out exactly how to get rid of him. They then created a secret core called the Circle of Wu, and this would hold the seal for a long, long time. And their hope was that someone would be able to open the Gate of Chaos before the seal loosened completely. They left a wall drawing so that anyone who saw it could know what was lurking in there, lying dormant. The Dark One was patient. Over time, he would wait for the seals to fade, tricking people into giving up their souls, such as the Mad Ballerina, and deaths as a way to make himself even stronger through blood sacrifice. The moment Richie communicated with the Dark One, his life was essentially forfeit. The mark on his arm that Doc saw showed that his time was running out. On another note, the strange areas with the chains seem to be their own parallel realities, which is also likely why Ahai could hear Doc and Richie shouting to her despite being within earshot. Also, the strange rooms with the plinths and
ducks and
seals
stuff.
were seemingly mirrored, as when Doc extinguishes candles, the door opens for Ahai and Sue. So the Mad Ballerina was named Li Yu Hong. She wasn't always mad, but the events of her life culminated in her becoming the Mad Ballerina after many frustrations and disappointments. She was one of twins, with her sister Li Yu Ping also being a talented ballerina. Even more so, actually, as Li Yu Ping always got chosen to be something known as the principal dancer. Essentially, she was the lead dancer, and the other ballerinas would merely support her. She was the star. Li Yu Ping won countless trophies thanks to her impressive gift. Li Yu Hong,
I think we'll sleep in a second, guys.
Practice, but she would never be as
time
good
is it?
as her sister.
Dang.
This grew a bitterness
Oh,
inside her. One day, Li Yu Hong got the chance to audition for
3:39
dancer, but
in
once
the
again,
morning.
her sister
You know what?
won.
I think we'll call it quits,
Family
y'all.
members celebrated in the
All
next room with her
right.
sister. Li Yu Hong was filled with
It was
rage and
nice
resentment.
with you guys.
This
We
also
had fun,
culminated in her
you know.
classmates bullying and taunting her for being a loser,
That's it.
as she didn't get the role she
Bye,
wanted.
y'all.
One chance conversation with the students in the games room at the university led her to discover